what we must do, what we have to do, what we got to do for save our young people. First thing first.
So we see them as brazen as they are. And we say these people are real scribs, they're done bad. They know them cameras watching them. I don't believe that they're done bad. I don't believe that they don't know, they're not aware that the cameras are looking at them. I believe that they are in between a rock and a hard place. A security work. It's not even a career in security. It's a work. Because tomorrow morning, the checker don't like you. You ain't giving it up. You find a reason to get your trump up charge and say you're going to lose your little work. You ain't building no career there.
Well, oh, I pray for this world to be a better place. Living in love, one people, one race. Stop all your killing, all your bloodshedding. Accept love, my brothers and sisters, cause in this world of hate, there is poverty, shame, and disgrace. There'll be no more existence of the human race if we don't cool down our haste. Yeah.
I've been following the news like you've been following the news, and I see a lot of things that are troublesome. But I know you see them, but I don't know if you see them the way I see them. And so generally, in many instances, I choose to discuss certain issues with you because for perspective, we can look at them from different points of view, POVs. And so I guess a lot of you saw a video of some young men robbing. A group of young men robbing. What I learned is Venezuelan national. Guy working right in the neighborhood, somewhere in Lodge there, at a washway, getting off of work. And these youngsters decide, well, he's a prime target. Let me take the thing. Right? Sometimes I send these videos to myself to remind me of where they are. And then I can't find them back. Right? If you're on this program and I sent you that video, please send it back to me. Right? Please send it back to me. Because I can't remember where it is. But what I know is that it is troublesome. Some might say it's a troublesome development. Right? Some might say it's a troublesome development. I will say that it is troublesome. And we need to look into the circumstances of that development. It is a troublesome development. But we ought to look into the circumstances. I'm sure
that occurs in your life.
When we were youngsters, we had wicked men among us, or wicked boys, let's say. There were boys among us who were doing wicked things. But to be as daring as those young men, go attack the young man, go attack the foreign national, the Spanish banner, as they say, the Venezuelan. We weren't that brazen. I know among us as youngsters, you had people who thief a fowl for bush cook. People who thief couple eggs As a matter of fact, what people used to say, if you thief egg, you're going to thief egg, you're going to thief for the rest of your life. How many of you ever heard that? Anybody who stole an egg was expected to steal for the rest of their lives. I don't know if it's myth or legend, but I guess a lot of us didn't want to steal for the rest of our lives, so we avoided stealing people's eggs. You thief too mango and too guinea on any fruits and so on and so forth. And if you're caught doing that, you are likely to be punished too. Right? We didn't got cameras. We had nosy neighbors. And we were cautious in our misbehaviors. But in modern Guyana, as some would like you to believe it is, we got cameras. I don't think you could take a dump in private. I believe the government is so much in your space, in your business, that they could tell the size of dump you take and the size of splash it make. It is that intrusive. It is that intrusive. I don't believe you have the kind of privacy that you think you have in your homes. Because with technology like Pegasus and so on, the PPP is always listening. And while a political activist like me, I expect them to be always listening. And some might say I will therefore take the necessary precautions. I don't do anything illegal, so I really don't consider when they listen or not. Except 1 or 2 times when I may what listening, somebody say, let me invite the First Lady over for some fun. So when they're listening, they could understand that. I know they're listening, so I give them messages. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right, so I don't care how much they listen because I don't engage in illegals or in illegalities. But Guyanese have to come to the place of recognizing and understanding that the government is using technology in a very intrusive way. And in your business. These smartphones are mightily smart. They're smarter than you and they're smarter than me. Good? So keep that in mind. But these youths who we say are technology or technologically savvy seem not to understand that the technology is out there looking at them, monitoring them, maybe even profiling them on a daily, on a 24-hour basis, 24/7, 48/14. Right? And so they're going about their business as if they can be bothered. They can be bothered. The question therefore is, it they don't care or they've resigned themselves to a particular fate, F-A-T-E? Is it that they don't care or they've resigned themselves to a particular F-A-T-E? What comes to do, old people? What comes to do? Que Sarah. Whatever it will be. I don't care. I've resigned myself to whatever the outcome is. So we see them as brazen as they are. And we say these people are real scribs, they're done bad. They know them cameras watching them. I don't believe that they're done bad. I don't believe that they don't know, they're not aware that the cameras are looking at them. I believe that they are in between a rock and a hard place. I believe that they have found themselves between a rock and a hard place. It's do or die. Bana's gotta eat the food. Right? Bana's gotta eat the food. I really am trying to think about where I put the video. Because I want you to see it. I know most of you might have seen it, but I really want us to have a look at it for all of its daring. Bana's gotta eat the food. I don't care if camera watching me when I've been hungry for the past 2 days. I don't care if camera watching me if I've not seen my single parent. Because in many instances, daddy long gone from the situation. Or mommy long gone from the situation. Nobody sticks around poverty. Or nobody really and truly would like to stick around. People don't choose poverty. At least I would think. And so I didn't see any of the people who supposedly are responsible for me, daddy or mama, for more than 72 hours or more, maybe 96 or more, maybe months and years. And so I can eat. I hungry, white squad kicking in my stomach. I don't care about the camera, the possibilities. The camera will pick me up, they can catch me. I can go and do the time and then I'm going to say, here it is, it's not where it is. Ask the jailman what I mean. And those who frequent jail, what I mean. When you're in jail, you know you're eating. You know you're sleeping. And of course, you know you're excreting. You don't wonder how you're eating. You might not wonder what you're eating. But you don't have to wonder how you're eating. You don't have to wonder where you're living. You got shelter over your head. It might sound extreme. But there are a lot of persons who have adopted that mentality out there in that Bana this thing too hard out there. Adulting is too difficult. I can't earn enough to pay rent and to stay in an apartment with comfort. I can't earn enough to even eat properly or eat regularly. It's just stress out there. Let's go snatch a mountain and go lie down in Camp Street. Let's go pick up somebody's gas bottle and end up in Luziknan. Is it that these people don't care? Is it that they're that callous? Or they've given up based on their circumstances? Looking at that video with our youths, robbing a man, there are many, many lessons to be had from that. First and foremost, absence of supervision, parental supervision. Where are the parents of these children? Where are the parents of these children? Obviously not present to supervise them, because I'm not serious about supervising them, perhaps, because if you're serious about supervising your children and so on, or if you are present to supervise your children, or if you can be present to supervise your children, I don't think they will be roaming the streets. But what are the circumstances, or some of the circumstances which cause parents not to be there to supervise their children? We live in a society where the majority of jobs available, or the fastest job you might be able to get, is a security work. A security work. It's not even a career in security. It's a work. Because tomorrow morning, the checker don't like you. You ain't giving it up. You find a reason to get your trump up charge and say you're going to lose your little work. You ain't building no career there. Our females are at the employer's mercies in the security industry. The males got the challenges too. But in most cases, it's females who hold the family together and groom the children while even the fathers out there hustling. In this hard society, this hard economy. So if you get a little security work, you're either working 7 to 7 or 7 to 7. 7 morning to 7 night, or 7 night to 7 morning. I think that is how the shift goes. When does an individual like that find time to groom and shape and really properly socialize and monitor and supervise their children? When the parent is leaving for work, the child is in bed. Supposedly so. Let's say you're doing 7 to 7, 7 in the morning to 7 in the night. You have to leave home on average, let's say 6 o'clock to get to work. In most homes, children are still asleep at 6. Or some parents will wake them up, give them instructions. This is what you need to do at 6 o'clock. Go to school and things. But you are on a job from 7 in the morning. You don't know if that child is at school. Sometimes by the time you realize that child has been thrown, is when it's too late, when trouble is already at the door. When you come back at 7 in the night, that child might be in the home, might be asleep, or might be active. But you come back from doing a 12-hour shift, you're tired. They might now be hustling to prepare dinner, right? You're rushing to get dinner done. Where is that quality time with the child? The child is going to school, assume the child is going to school as instructed. But the child is failing. Frustrated, the system doesn't cater for the child like at BV Secondary. This school thing is working out part now. Them teaching understanding me and me and understanding them teacher. And it's not for we in the school like this, so we form a gang. That is how trouble brews among our children. That is how trouble brews among our children. And so when you see that marauding bunch out there, those youngsters on bicycles attack that wash bay attendant, according to my information, Spanish man. You don't just see a bunch of youth attacking the man. You see a whole lot of societal problems. You saw the older youth with a weapon, they say it's a knife, that was basically intimidating people. He is seen as the gang leader. Maybe he recruited them and groomed them. What presented those opportunities to him, or that opportunity to him, to be able to groom them, to be able to first recruit them and groom them? Maybe due to his own dealings on the arm and otherwise, he always got something to offer. They're hungry. They could always catch a food. They could always catch a food. We got frat house by y'all could come in and feed your mug, and then we're gonna plan the next crime. So when I look at that video, I saw all of these things. But what some people saw and what some people are quick to comment on. Oh, watch them church boys, as they like to call black people, children when they get involved in crime. Oh, they should dead. What they don't see are the underlying social issues that give rise to behavior such as those. They don't see starvation wages being paid to citizens. They don't see advantage being taken on the poor class, living in abject poverty, what, 38% or so? Or 58 living in abject poverty, 38 living on the poverty line. They don't see those things. They don't understand that with poverty, this kind of behavior come. Because I've been saying it to them for years. There will come a time in this country when those who do not have will prey upon those who have. Currently, those who have power are preying upon the resources of this country, like the Susan Rodriguez and so on and so forth, allegedly. But the time is fast coming, if it is not already here, when the citizens who are shortchanged because of the greed and corruption among the elites in this country, robbing them below, or those of us below, of resources to get a break out of poverty. That time is coming, or it is fast approaching, when those who are impacted negatively will react, and they're going to start taking from those who have taken from the treasury and the resources of this country criminally. That which you saw among the youngsters is a good example, is a very good example of what you can expect if the society doesn't right the wrongs of the government, if the society doesn't address the underlying economic and social issues which is giving rise to situations like those. But they could go and work. The Spanish just work. Then want to work for $5,000 a day, and the Spanish working for $4,000. Yeah. We're quick to say that. But are we also acknowledging that in many instances, the income that the Spanish is getting is subsidized? The International Organization on Migration, is that the organization that deals with refugees and the financial support of refugees in a foreign territory and so on. Ask the PPP government how much money IOM gives to them on an annual to support the Venezuelans in this country. Ask the PPP on a daily or on a regular. Or those who are friends with some of the Venezuelans, find out from them what's the size of the check that they collect monthly. Those of you who frequent the banks, tell me if you don't see the Venezuelans in the banks in many instances and cashing their checks from the IOM or UNHCR or whatever they call them. So in many instances, a lot of the Venezuelans you see working, especially if they're working around the government, are registered as refugees, and so they're getting government support or international support through the IOM. And then they're getting this, if you want to call it a side hustle. But the average Guyanese who will work for what the Venezuelan is working for in this country would have that as his or her only source of income. And so really and truly you can't compare the two. You can't compare the two, but a lot of us are not even aware of that. A lot of us have not even been made aware of that. So people continuously give you the impression that the Venezuelans are working for way less than Guyanese or are willing to work for way less than Guyanese. And that is their only source of income. It's not true. And then let me give you another twist to the story here. This particular individual that was being robbed is working at a wash bay in the neighborhood. Could it be because of his willingness to work for less than those who are originating in that neighborhood? They feel that they've been robbed of the opportunity to work at that wash bay. And so since I've been robbed of the opportunity to work at that wash bay, because this man is willing to work for less than I'm willing to work, we will make an example of it. Have we considered that? Could it be, what do you call it? In Trinidad, they got the thing, man, not protectionism, but basically, if you want to work in this neighborhood, you got to pay your dues. In Jamaica, I'm told if they got work in certain wards to be done, if the people in the ward got to do it, you can't bring nobody from outside to do it, because they would be at great risk. Could it be a situation like that? Wayne says extortionism, extortion. Could it be that one or more among this group of youngsters felt aggrieved because this Venezuelan willing to work for less put him or them out of a job at the wash bay? Could it be? I don't know all the details, but I am examining what I would want to call the social issues which can give rise to a situation such as that. So before we all kill them, chop out their head, shoot out their hand, and so on and so forth, let us examine what in our society is giving rise to that kind of behavior, and so we can address the problem from the root. Last but not least, could it be that these youngsters have determined in their mind, well, if the bigger heads, the political elites and so on, could steal the nation's resources and blase and pump scene on we, and there's no punishment for them, we could attempt the same thing. The society of hustle. This is what the PPP and the JAGD and the rest of them made Guyana. A society of hustle. Get rich quick or die trying. Money you have to make. So the lesser minions in the society are trying to emulate, copycat, behave like those who are in authority. Have we sent the message to our young people that you gotta be corrupt or criminal to get by in this society, or to get rich in this society, or to be somebody in this society? Because from where I sit, the bigger heads in this society apparently don't have a problem with people stealing. With all of the allegations made against Susan Rodriguez and all of the calls for investigation, without an investigation, without not 1 minute of investigation, at least public investigation, the president declared he believes the explanation that Susan Rodriguez has provided. According to the people, she sells chocolate, she sells cell phone, she sells time, she sells anything that she puts her hand on, including house lots. According to the people, allegedly. They are reading between the lines. She was a real seller, or is a real seller. So when I understand that, according to them, that Suzanne is selling everything that she puts her hand on, I start praying to God. I hope that this girl had never touched certain parts of her body. That they would have get sold to. I hope she washing by remote. Because they would have get sold to. But the president says, I believe in this minister. I believe in our I believe in the explanation of the minister. That is how I stay apolitical, asexual, apolitical, non-discriminatory. I believe the explanation of the minister. That doesn't call for minister is what we say, neuter gender or neutral. It could be male or female. Good. In which self-respecting society, you would have all of these allegations being made against a sitting minister, and the evidence being provided to raise enough questions about the accuracy or honesty of this minister in these transactions. And her boss, the minister's boss, as you might say, the president in this instance, nonchalantly says, I believe the minister's explanations. In which country that happens and the citizens sit back? Guyana isn't serious. You get 1,001 TikToks that are going to pop up making fun of these utterances. But you don't get 1,001 persons that will show up in the streets to demand an independent investigation into the allegations being made against Susan Rodriguez and Mustafa Ali, or whatever his name, and other ministers of the PPP government. We can't be serious as a people. I don't think we are very serious as a people. And sometimes I come here and I make light of these things. But I'm very serious. I am very serious when I say Guyanese need to get up and confront the system, the people who manage the system. So that we can fix the system. Because as it is right now, if it's okay to just get a pat on the wrist, the lines are not opened. What do we need to do to save our young people? To prevent our young people getting into criminal activities at such an early age? What do we need to do? An important element of that situation that nobody paid attention to, perhaps, is how the community came out. And as I like to say, give them a flingings. At least it shows that there's some elements in the community. It shows that there's some elements in the community who do not condone that kind of behavior. Right? It shows that. And that is something that we ought to take note of. Call you on, good morning. Why did the call end? All right, we got a voice note. Let's play this one for now.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. Good morning, viewers. Guyanese need to wake up before it's too late. They need to wake up. The corruption is rampant every day. Ali defending Susan because he know that his administration is a corrupt administration. And Guyanese not stupid. They see what's going on. They see where the money is going. The money not reaching to the people. The money not reaching to the people. The money is divided up between the cabal, friends, and family, with the building mansions. The Guyanese see what's going on. The world see what's going on in the Guyana. And for the confusion and the madness to stop, the people got to hit the street day in, day out. Day in, day out. Ali defending his ministers it should not surprise nobody. Because when he was minister, everybody know what he did. So Guyanese got to wake up to stop the madness that you see going on in Guyana. If not, it's going to continue. That's my take for today.
Call you on, good morning.
Yes, good morning to you and all my black brothers and sisters in Guyana. Happy New Year to all of you and your family. I will continue to mention those words, Happy New Year, until the last day of January. Yes, until the last day of January. First thing first, I'm responsible for what I say, not how you interpret it. You ask the question loud and clear. What we must do, what we have to do, what we got to do for save our young people. First thing first, we have to demonstrate these words what Flash Garden always say every day on your program. Love, unity, and support. I call upon WPA and PNC Long to keep a rally at coffee spray with all the young people that day, all the young people that day, and let the world see what the government is doing to their brains, what they take away, and what they don't want to fulfill. Let them come and show us and tell us what they're going through. And from there and then, we begin to take them under our arm. Who at the time? Because they still need teaching. It is shameful and ridiculous, yes, to see our people have to live in that stage. And them fat cats, them black men and black women, they don't care a damn. That's why them boys outside there do that. I will not condemn them. They need help. And we have to make up our mind. And who could help? Don't wait for opposition leaders to help them. Don't wait for me to help them. If you can't, invite them in each neighborhood and sit down and talk to them. Can't stand banging break down door. I really want to tell Flash Garden that this minister, from since a little baby, she started for sale. And she saved your money, but she only invested when she became minister for 5 years. The nonsense thing that black man sit down. I take from them collie boys in and out. That's when we got to blame Mohammed. Because of what Mohammed did to black people, and black people don't want to talk about it. Them boys have to end up making news and do something what they're not supposed to do. Because if them collie, we keep the foundation for young people go back to school, learn a trade, get 2 qualifications more than Flash Garden, we would have been better after this. But then destroy everything from Bonham and what David Green just put out there. And we're fighting for Mohammed for going parliament, but we're not fighting for our young people for a better life. Let Mohammed feel the heat. I'm always saying, if Mohammed innocent, like pack it back and go and tell them white boys, look, I am innocent, ABC, ABC. But you keep hiding behind black people. Keep mixing around black people. Because you don't want to face, because it's a thief man, don't like him, but a thief man. And Mohammed killed black man. And black man will always remember, it is time for Mohammed to stop that nonsense between black people. Because why? When they called him out and said, easy, absolutely no, he put only 3 or 2 black men in parliament. Why he did that? Why did that? Apanjat. May I repeat myself again. He called for them 3 black men. Thank God for Mr. Vincent Alexander that made black people could get 3 years breathing space. When he said, your name is wrong, stop that nonsense. I will not sit here and allow you to announce that nonsense. But nobody don't recognize Mr. Vincent Alexander and talk about this aid. That is why Mohammed do that nonsense. Because Mr. Vincent Alexander stopped him 2015. Stop smuggle out gold. So you come up with a grievance for destroy PNC. But nobody can destroy nobody. I could try. But PNC forever. Because what Bonham did with free education, nobody can do about that. Thank you very much for your time.
I'm going to this blessed and wonderful country we're supposed to call Guyana. Wonderful topic. Good conversation. Up to yesterday, I had the same conversation with some people, but then we had a lot of differences the way we think. I said to them guys, these guys like thought of something, for something. I say, I don't know the foundation of this country we call Guyana. That's how you mean. I explained to them. I said, we came to the struggle of our benefit for this country. As we all know that the seniors and old people are the persons who conscious will go through the 60s, go through the 70s, go through the 80s, and whatsoever it is. Now, I explained to them, some people was appreciated of Bonham, some wasn't. We all understand everybody can't like everybody. I said, but Bonham had formula for the future of this country, something called free education from nursery to university. He had his reasons why. If you don't have a structure in place for the small fries from a small level, could they reach the higher level? No. Even though we all understand that we all, our parents in different areas, leave their lands and come to town and work, because as we all know, they don't go back into the system of the system was set to stifle our benefits on our land we used to plant. We don't go back into it. We all know that. Now, when you hear this thing called free education from nursery to university, it's not for one, but for all. When the people go in power, they strategize it. What they did, they shut it out. Was the reason why they shut it out. We not go into details, but we know why they shut it out. Why they shut it out? Because our people they benefit from it on a long-term base. So when they change the whole narrative of that, how much of us parents were working with another public servant at the time or to send our children to university? All right? You go into that. You go into another level now. The people have created a system called No Child Left Behind. There's another formula of disaster we see happening today in this life. And when you create a vacuum and the space, it is really end up with today. When I used to go to school in Samson. You have to go to school. You have to go to school on time. And everything had to be punctual. You got to do your homework. Teachers come and teach every single thing. The teacher and your parent had a cordial understanding, a family-oriented. If you teachers, you go to school, teachers, you reach by your house. Ask your mother, what happened to your boy? Why you come to school? Today doesn't happen. Because the system set to destroy the future of this blessed wonderful country, Guyana. And if we don't understand that where it came from, simple Mr. Amsterdam, eating at the breakfast table in the morning was a formula of love and unity. Saying your prayers in the morning with your mother, your whosoever around, your auntie, your grandmother, whosoever you go with, was a formula of purity for your future. All these things gone through the window, Mr. Amsterdam. I try to get up in the morning, he make his own tea, the body make the own tea, he eat in the bedroom, he eat in the room, he eat not this one, he eat nothing. And this is going on. And I'm saying to you, sir, 95% of the times is we people fall prey to these things. I'm not saying other people ain't doing it. But you look on plenty work sites when it's lunchtime. Who run in the shop? Who got the lunch bowl? Who got the bag with something to eat? We don't. Look at this simple formula, sir. And I'm saying to us, if we don't understand who we are, we would never ever be who we're supposed to be. But it has a lot of work. A lot of work. You got a lot of enemies, you got disaster in all kind of form. And it hurts me to know what a man snatching a woman bag, which might get a little 40,000, which you're surviving. And then when they shoot you, they go in jail now. What happened to you? You weaken yourself. Mr. Amsterdam, your program is edifying. I listen to Dr. Hines, and all we say is truth. It is a sad state in this country we call Guyana. I talk about Guyana because Guyana is where born and grow. And if we don't understand that we got to buckle up and get things right, and not just look at a dollar. Money got make, just what you said, money got make, being a time with nobody got to hustle. Because if I see the boss I'm hustling, I go hustle. Right, but you want to look at the boss? If I see the boss, I'm doing the like I do, like end of the day, the boss get protection, you want no protection. When the boss are moving with 5, 6, 7 security around them, where you moving with? So, again, I have many more to say, but I know that the people aren't calling. So, by the opinion, Mr. Amsterdam, keep up the good work. And I must say, bad man, was happy New Year to you. It was first time I called for the year because I was so taken up in other things. But I am available for the coming half an hour to call to give more view on how I see it. Have a blessed rest of the day. Happy New Year to you and your family. Keep up your good works and let the Almighty be with you. I know it's tough, but what you're saying is right. We can't give up.
Thank you for your call.
Have a blessed day, my brother.
Morning, Brother Kidaki. Good morning, viewers. Morning, all right thinking Guyanese. Joining in can better this country. Real right thinking Guyanese. And you know, some of us know yesterday to big up that times on this program, but Brother Kidaki didn't pay no voice note. Anyhow. My take this morning is that I hear people just mentioning about Rodriguez and Mustafa. What about the Attorney General? We now hear people mentioning much about this Attorney General. Well, alleged, well, Mohammed say you have 50 properties in Georgetown alone. Come on, bro. Guyanese, why we quick to easy to forget these things? The Attorney General have 50 properties in Georgetown alone. Come on, Guyanese people. That's what Mohammed said. We cannot leave that out. These people are stinking rich. If we pool all those resources and all those buildings and all those properties that these PPP people require since they're in office, you know, Guyana can be more excellent, beautiful, more than Dubai. You see the Americans, all these people coming out now because the shame. We were these people all the time. These people know that Guyanese people under a dictatorship government. Under dictatorship government, why only now these people come out? Come on, bro. If was a black man was in there, as the PNC party or the opposition party, the APNU party was in government, the people will come out long before they say pressure bust pipe. You understand me? It's pressure what they get. Make them come out now concerning Mohammed issue. Anyhow, that advice that Mr. Mohammed said to his not advice. Come on, bro. Mr. Mohammed, you talking to a jackass. You talking to idiot. That is where you all talk to black people when y'all get arrogant or when y'all drink your rum. That is in y'all DNA. Coolie people, that's how y'all speak to black people, but it's good. But only thing get me upset when you say all black people, don't care where you come from, if it's Africa or England. That is what get me upset, but everything else is very good to them. They left and run from the own black party for run to the next coolie thieving party, a criminal party. So that is very good. What Mr. Mohammed come out there with. But I am pissed when you say all black people. I am pissed when you say pissed. That is what black people got to forget. That is what the PPP doing to black man and right in there. And they're quiet, they can't say nothing. So that is in the people their DNA. That is what in the people their DNA. So who don't want to believe it? That is their business. Who want praise? That is their business. I don't concern. I come out here to speak nothing but the truth. I see the ERC. The ERC, y'all are some hypocrite in this country. Y'all going after Mohammed now because it's a political reason.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam and viewers. One of the things we can try is every village have a leader and can bring people together. And one particular day, everybody, all the leaders meet together and keep a meeting and said, watch, on the 3rd, on the 23rd, or wherever month, each village gonna bring out the people with your placard at your village front. to the main road. And every village, if they get 30, 40 or much person, you calculate all the villages, the amount of people you get before you can say, well, all right, we eat in the street to Georgetown. And then you know you mobilize the people and you have enough people to eat the street. But when you call for these big protests, nobody comes out. Everybody get this and that. But if, there's just my opinion, if every village have a leader, talking to the people, say this is what we want to do, this is the outcome we expect if this happen, and everybody come out on that one day to the road head at their village, they're gonna send a message. Then you organize a day now, say, well, either you walk in the street or we link in village to village and then meet up and go down to Georgetown or whatever. I feel that we're going to carry an impact, but the only thing is if we're going to get a permission to do it, or we take buses and then you go to town and you demonstrate, but you know that you get certain amount of people from before, well, you know, these are the people that are going to be, so we're going to get 2,000 persons, we're going to get 1,000, or we're going to get 500, we get a full impact from then, you know, you keep a big rally or a meeting, sensitize your people, and then you go again. But just call and open for people go? I think leaders have to go. Every village have to get a leader. Somebody strong that keep talking to the people, mobilizing the people, and then we got to know that we do it time and time before, and a lot of Mr. Amsterdam, Dr. David Hines, and a lot of people do it, and it don't work, but we have to keep pushing for our people. It is very hard.
Good morning, Mr. Amsterdam. These young people that are going around stealing and robbing people in the streets now, these are some of the young people that voted for the other parties. The money sweeten them. They get paid to do so. Now the money is finished. So they got to continue to spend. They go and they rob people in the streets. These are the kind of people we have to deal with in Guyana now. But if any one of you think that the PPP would have taken any satisfaction where the Minister of Tourism is concerned, you are making a great mistake. What the PPP are telling these people, in other words, help yourself. This isle would not be forever. You help yourself. And who can make it? I'm sorry for them. That is what they are telling the people, in other words. And you know, by now I get so frustrated about all of these programs. Duncan, this program, Mr. Hines, all these programs. And I promise to stop to watch these programs anymore, to be honest, until one day I can wake up and see and hear that the streets of Guyana, yes, the streets of Guyana is in fire. God had to do that. God destroyed the world by water, if you want to talk about the Bible. And until destruction can come, there will be no peace in Guyana. Out of evil sometimes cometh good. And until such thing can happen, all these programs make no sense. 5, 10 years, you all have been talking. Look what is going on around the world now. Everybody is rising up. And it's time for you guys to do the same by
"16 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour on the program that makes no sense. "16 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour on the 13th day of January 2026 on the program that makes no sense." Sometimes we don't know what we're saying. I understand the frustration of the callers, but I also understand that, as somebody is saying, we got to educate, we got to keep educating. These programs have their purposes. And don't call and say they don't make no sense. If you want to stop listening, but don't tell people they don't make no sense. Call it on. Proceed.
Blessed rising to each and everyone. Brother Kadaki and viewers. I agree with you so much with the caller that called just now. We understand this frustration, but this is not how it is work. We got to put our hands together. All hands on deck. No matter which side we there. You just get frustrated to Brother Kadaki, and you're still there. I just get frustrated too, but I just still there and try to come on and give my views, little words of encouragement. And this is the little issue that we get. We feel we there far off and we dictating what should happen and then we ain't there in it, you know. But we got to put all hands on deck. Power to the PNC party. Power to the coalition, the real coalition, because you know why? Every single race that is a part of that party have a voice, would speak out. Now only me says some. Before Brother Rubraj Narayan left, he said some. You understand? He said so. I could understand the Indian brothers and sisters, them, the pressure that they would go through from their community for being in a party like the PNC, for being in an organization like the coalition. I could understand because them Indian superiors, them, and those who is not supporters of the coalition or the PNC, the kind of nasty things that they tell them. So they would go through a lot to be a part, being a part of it. In the PPP party, every one of the black people, them, brothers and sisters in the PNC, in the PPP party, and the Amerindian brothers and sisters, them, that is in the PPP party, they're not supporters. They're not members. They're not members of the party. They're not even supporters. Them as employees. You could see that because they have no voice. Not one. Anything happened to an Indian brother, and we see the evidence in the PNC or the coalition, Indian brothers, and anything happen to an Indian person in the country, an Indian brother or sister that is a member of the coalition or the PNC would stand and speak out, whether they're wrong or the right, but they got that leverage that they could speak their minds and talk about their dissatisfaction of what going on with people that looks like them. It don't happen, it can't happen. It dare not. Those in the PPP, those black slaves in the PPP. I call them so because they have no voice, not one, from the prime minister down to the lowest one. They have no voice. Amerindians, same thing. They have no voice inside of them because that is how the elites in the PPP see them as employees. They can't say nothing. And to Mr. Shell Mohammed, is he voice? Is he the one that talks? That is their custom. That is how they are accustomed talking. And I'm glad, in a sense, that he talks so. For people like Leno Craig and then we'll sit on that anemic looking brother named Leno Craig and the rest that sit down for here. Because if it was the other way wrong, they would have gone, you would hear the vice force, how they would have gone. But let me tell you something. Let me say this, that the weakness in the PNC and the coalition as a whole, we lack of leaders that willing to put their lives on the line for the representation of the people. I noticed that Brother Arbery Compton Norton, sister, what's the name? We left the party. And Mans and them got away that at the start and saying that for things to happen is the people them that got to come out. How weak that is. How weak that is. You look around all over. But Kadaki, you go through so much because you know why you have the mind and the mentality of a leader. And you go through so much and you're stopping. Cheryl Duncan, the same thing. Brother Mark Benchab, the same thing. Brother Mark Benchab get a lot done by protesting. How much being in the protest? 2 and 3 and them kind of thing. But it's the purpose of your protest and make it get results. Brother David Hines, our big brother, go through so much. Brother with this other brother name with a shackle on his foot, Takumo Gonze, and those are the works of a true leader. When you gonna be somebody that people see as a leader, you will stand up and say that for things to work is the people got to come out. You're unfit to be a leader. And until we get leaders like Kadaki Amsterdam, like Mark Benschop, like Sherrod Duncan, like Brother David Hines, like Takumo Gonze, and even this sister Simona Brooms, if until we get leaders like them who willing to take the front to lead the people into the revolution to get a proper solution, until then we're not going to get it right. And I want people like Amanzo Walden to hear this and stop coming on programs and telling people what is the Guyanese people got to come out and do things. But the Nigel Landon bring down Darren Lal, show leadership without an ounce of violence, without an ounce of violence. And until we get people like you guys in the leadership position that willing to put their lives on the line for the cause, Brother Sharma Solomon, show leadership. Those are leaders we got to get rising. People with those mentality like y'all got to rise and to the occasion, and the PPP gonna know its place within a few days. Thanks very much for your time. Stay safe. Continue to be blessed, brother. Thank you, viewers.
Thank you for your call. Rhonda, you can proceed.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon. You started the program with the incident of these young men at this robbery. You know, when you sit down and you study those things, it is very sad. Now a lot of people would lick out and scream out how single parent. But when you go down into things, a young girl, little girl, at least I know I used to play dolly house. And the first thing you envision yourself as a bride, you're wearing your mother big dress and big shoe, you envision yourself as a bride. Now, and then children gonna come. You don't used to go into the park. But anyway, your siblings were your children. And you grow up with that in you. As you got bigger, you end up in relationships. Now, sometime a relationship, I was married at a tender age, and the marriage went south. Anyway, now you start out your life plan, you end up with all, you get your children. You may not really want to become a single parent, but when you see the things of the union, at least I would say before I stay in a bad union, that I go it alone, which I did. Now, children coming from the thing, I had to be a parent to tell no. My grown children would tell me things like, oh, you used to beat me and you used to listen to people, and they try to bring the now as a dagger in my life because of my fondness. But I didn't care. I wasn't cruel to them. I put my children on the right path. Years ago, this country that copies everything suddenly adopted the thing that corporal punishment must be abolished in the homes. Being visited school in the homes. Now you got children that you cannot speak to. What will happen? Now this single parent of Mordecai was a mother. You got to go out there and you got to hustle. You got to do everything. Now when you come home, you expect your children to be toeing the line. But there again, it's a little thing in it because I had my children going to schools out of the area, Georgetown, when I went to Georgetown. And I did not used to wait to see what's going on. And once I get a spare time, I visiting youth school. Me waiting for teachers send for me. I visiting youth school. When I appear at the school, I tell them at the office, Miss, I'm this child's parent, and I had a little time of stopping. As parents, we got to do things to show these children that we are on top of what they are doing. So, and if this child, my children tended to follow the crowd and misbehave. They know when this woman gonna appear in school and don't find me. Anyway, our fund leader, President Lyndon Forbes Sampson Bonham, decided on a thing that would have captured all these children who didn't make it through school. First, he put up the school, community high school. And when that didn't do, he had the national service. Now, these children who are seen out there in that group in there to do what they try to do or they get to do, robbing somebody, would have been meaningfully housed at some national service center, learning a trade, and if they didn't know to read and write, excuse me, they would have been taught the basic at the National Service Center. I went to Kimby in order to become a nurse, and I went through the training. It wasn't that rigid for me because I just went and did the military stint. But other than that, with all I was there to do the military stint, we went through everything. We had classes, we had everything, classes, entertainment, drills, you name it, full of. And that rounded you at national service. Now, other people now talking about this money. So, I tell people, if you allow your eyes to wander to what people got, the wealth of people, you're going to want to get the same thing. But if you're contented with the little that you have, you take the little, 5 barley loaves and 2 fishes fed how many left back, how many things. And I have adopted that in my life. I don't look at what other people got. I work for my own, and I make certain that the little that I work for, when I'm finished working for it, I make certain I gonna stretch it. And with all it is little in comparison with the big things that other people work for. When they see me step out or put out, they always leave in amazement to see what I have done. And they always say, in my village, people tell me, and I just tell them, they say, Rhonda, don't come out there and pretend that you ain't got it, because we know you got the bank. And let me tell you, Kadaki, sometimes when they're telling me I got the bank, I got a bag of bush to carry to border market and see if I could sell it to get a return passage to come back home. Now a call before me said that he sat down 5 years. Now if he has taken 5 years to look at programs and to see that the programs are a waste of time is a big, he's a big donkey. Because if I know that programs are a waste of my time, I don't like critics, I don't look at you. I don't look at the Farmer Thursday Madness. I don't look at Gildari, because I know those shows will not do anything for me. So I blank them out completely. I don't look at them. And they say, if the shows don't do nothing for you, don't look at them, and don't healthy criticism is good at times, because you come and we know that you don't like the show. So all you got to do is save your balance of sanity and stop looking at the shows, and let people who come out here to learn something and to be able to offer something, allow us to do what we think it is best for ourselves. And lastly, open confession is good for the soul. Bye-bye.
It's a minute to the 9 o'clock hour. It's 1 minute to 9. I know we can't do much with a minute, so I won't be taking a call. But I'll see if there's a voice note. Yes, I see there are 2 voice notes, so we'll play them.
My name is Amsterdam. Concerning how we can highlight the youth of today, one of the strategy we can use, we have to go into their comfort zone, whether them on the corner, one in a little weed and thing. We go there and, try to interact with them and enlighten them, whether it's on the football field, whether it's on the park, wherever is their comfort zone, we have to go in the comfort zone. Concerning this fight, no going wrong. But black man should work with them at the end thing. I am not surprised. But in a way, I'm happy that I glad it come out, because it showed that how these people see themselves as superior, just like Ali them. Them superior. Another race is inferior. When he calls critics, the same one, he telling critics, oh, he helped critics, like he is God. I am defending critics, but like he put breath in critics. I help you. Same thing he telling this one in the voice note. I help you. You shouldn't be ungrateful. So my interpretation of it is like, okay, so because you help me or give me work, when you're doing your smuggling and all of these things and evading of tax and these things, I should agree with you. There is what he's saying. So that is how the people see us. They think that they are superior to us and we should always be under them, walking them. That is how I always say when they might go to take the Lamborghini by the Mohammed and I said a black man show up there, Mohammed was laughing in their mind. That is what I feel. They was laughing in their mind and said, watch these fools. They had a right to do it because that is how they see us. But they see us as inferior and then superior. So you hear them say, oh, go walk with your Mati. That is why we should open our eyes and vote for Mati, especially the one who say that this and that and that. Them people voting for their Mati and sending us to go work with our Mati, so why we can't vote for our Mati. What somebody should do is play the same recording when he calls critics and play this recording when he calls the guy who go work with him, Mati, and you will see the similarity, and that alone will paint a picture of who the speaker is on the second voice note, because it's the same spirit, it's the same mindset, the same voice.
Good morning, my brother, to you and the listening public, and to all right-thinking, honest, decent Guyanese. I wish all of you a healthy, prosperous, and progressive 2026. May God inspire you people to be courageous, to be honest, and to stand up for what is right and pleasing in sight of God, and not these criminals who are professing to be leaders. Guyana has more to get. It is just the beginning. It's just the tip of the iceberg. I have been traversing this country and I've been observing all that the PPP is doing. They have sold out or are sharing out all our arable lands on the coastal plain. And that is why they are talking about infrastructure. They are creating roads to facilitate those who they will be issuing those lands. Take drive. I want Guyanese to take time off and drive around the country and see what is going on. I can call 2 villages, Anidel, Luziknan. They are creating, I don't know, I can't call it a scheme or what, but it's right down to the conservancy. Roads are being constructed and all, man, look, these boys are having a field day. Sharing out Guyana, giving out Guyana to who they wish, foreigners and locals. But the thing that hurts me most of all is not what they are doing. I am hurt because my people, the African man and the niggers, because the African men, they are few, but the niggers who continue to sell their souls to the blue and the red. The blue and the red is 1 and 2. All 2 are the same. Thank God he allowed the father to come out and tell black man how we hate them. And a dog don't make a sheep. And if that is his mentality, that is his entire family mentality. The trouble is that these people only have you around them for a purpose. It's not that they love you. And worse yet, when they have money, you know, my people are not remembering the past. Not too long ago, that son of that distinguished lawyer, who is also a lawyer, remember he spat in the face of that security guard. That's how hateful these people are, and no matter who want to sugarcoat it, it's foolish. I blame the African people for the present state of Guyana, especially these young ones, and they will suffer. Eh? What has this boy done for them? More than to give them a few black bags and a 10,000 here and a 5,000 there and so on and so on. Is he fighting for the well-being, the progress, and the upliftment of this nation? His interest is to save his ass. And the PPP is the same. They do not intend to put systems in place to uplift the well-being of this nation. All their interest is self-aggrandizement. Look, they just shared that little cash grant at quarantine with the chosen rice farmers. And the very brother of theirs can say, man, over $138 million not accounted for. You know? What is black people doing? Yesterday, I traversed the East Coast, went way up to West Coast Bobbies, and it was brought to my attention of the different villages that the blue and the red gave gifts to those who they perceive to be leaders in those villages. Some of them got the car in the yard until now. They're ashamed to come out on the road with it. Some got motorbike, plus a couple thousands. And that is what they encourage their brothers and sisters to sell their soul for. It is sad. It is sad. It is sad for Guyana. I don't know where, when, and how we will get a change. And I'm pleading with Brother Norton. Stay in your corner. That nonsense that you're calling for now, but collate in Parliament, the fancy girl and all of them, let they do it. The time for coalition has passed. How can they call themselves constructive and intelligent politicians when they know that the only time for coalition is before the elections? They are all asses and self-centered individuals. Let Brother Norton and his team continue doing what they're doing and do not look for any collating in Parliament. It is foolish because you have given the people the majority. You have allowed them to take it. And no matter what you say in Parliament now, it is worse than the last Parliament because they have the majority and it's a dictatorial administration and nothing will happen. So I am pleading with Brother Norton and his team to continue doing the work the way in which they are doing it until such time. May God have mercy on this nation.